an episode of the Warrior Poet Podcast. And if you can't tell by all the mouth breathing, we're here with a bunch of fighters who may or may not be able to breathe out of their nose. So you're going to hear a lot of exhalation coming from these guys. I'm here with TJ Dillashaw, Danny Castillo, Justin Buchholz, a bunch of savages from the Team Alpha Male. Man, it's been good hanging out with you guys this week.
It's been awesome. I'm moving to Austin.
Fucking hell, let's make it happen. What's in Sacramento anyways? Come on.
Yeah, just our team.
Yeah, I know. Just got to move the team, move the building.
Yeah, my family, my mom, all my friends.
That's all right.
It's cool. I met some new friends. Everyone's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll work. I mean, I know you guys got that country club living in your gym out there, but, you know, heard some stories that it's really like, it's kind of like somewhere between an MMA facility and like Canyon Ranch Health Spa.
Yeah, I mean, we won Gym of the Year, so I mean, it's got to be pretty nice. You walk in, everything's state of the art. You know, we got one toilet, one shower. It's nice, dude.
That's good.
Yeah.
We had a urinal that was broken for like 3 months. So either if you had to go number one, number two, you're just waiting in line.
But clearly, it is not the gym that makes the fighters. It's the fighters that make the gym. And you guys have been on a hell of a run.
Yeah,
how's that been to be a part of that?
It's been amazing, man. I mean, just everything's happening the way it's planned out, just how Dwayne told us it was going to happen. And things been clicking. And, yeah, we got the best gym. I mean, you go in there, every training session's a UFC fight. You know, you got 2, 3, 4, and 5 ranked guys in the world. It's awesome.
I don't think there's clearly not any gym out there that, especially in the lower weights, has anywhere near the kind of caliber of fighter that you guys have.
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, I think even our up-and-comers, super tough. Really tough guys coming up.
There's no gym that has like homegrown fighters like we do too. Everyone's kind of got their start there. No one made it.
You smoke weed that's local?
I
what do you mean by homegrown fighters?
I definitely do. It's legal now in California. Oh wait, medically, yeah.
Yeah. But you got all kinds of things fucked up. I heard you mouth breathing over there. That's got to be a reason to smoke weed.
Yes, definitely. That's why my nose is so clogged. All the smoke. Bad allergic reaction.
Imagine it's more allergic reaction to the leather that's been repeatedly bounced off your nose.
3 times broken, still straight. Well, a little gay.
Yeah, it looks pretty.
Little gay, but.
Yeah, this nose doesn't get all nice like this without getting punched.
Yeah, for sure. Well, one of the things that's impressed me about hanging out with all you guys, and we have a couple more on the team. We got Chris Holdsworth been here as well.
Sticks.
Sticks.
Yeah, Stick Boy.
And then, of course, your coach, Dwayne Bang, who we'll have on the On It podcast as well. But it really, it's cool to see how much of a family you guys are. You know, it's like
a big gay family.
Yeah. You're sticking with it. You like it. You've got an idea in your head.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't know what the hell.
Wrong team.
But that's it. You guys are always laughing, joking. But then when it's time to work, you guys give it hell. I got to watch some of your training session and put you guys through a little strength and conditioning. So I think that's, you know, to me, that's one thing that's got to make this whole journey a lot more fun, but also a lot more effective.
Definitely. I feel like you can draw from your teammates. Everything's a little bit better. It's kind of like here On It. Like when you walk in the door, everyone's super friendly. Everyone's on the same page, same attitude, same everything, same outlook. And when you have those types of people, like-minded people together, like crazy cool things happen. And you know, the team is getting so good, and sparring practices are a little hairy sometimes because even the weakest guy on the team is learning from the best striking coach in the world. And you know, you get hit a lot more these days than you did before. And even though it's controlled and he's helping us be better mixed martial artists, it's still rough sometimes.
I hear it's particularly rough when you're sparring this savage over here, TJ Dillashaw.
Yeah,
I'm getting in whispers and little weird glances. They're like, yeah, especially when you're fucking fighting TJ.
Yeah, I like to go first. Yeah. That way he doesn't catch a good rhythm, because once when he caught that rhythm, and it just sucks. So if I catch him first, his warm-up round, it's the best. Or I like to go last round too, but then
you're tired too.
Yeah, but I take one off before I go with it.
Yeah, I have a competitive issue, man. I like it super aggressive and just always want to win. I don't even care if, like I said, we're playing Monopoly, whatever it is. Like I'm gonna try to win, you know.
He's gonna try to fuck you up.
Yeah, even Monopoly, take all your houses.
Yeah, I just try to avoid Dillashaw, honestly. Like, There's nothing worse than getting your ass beat by a little dude. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like 155. I walk around 180. He fights at 135, and he's like kicking my ass, like picking me up. Like
180.
Yeah, right. Shut up, man.
Yeah, in your bra. No, but the team situation's awesome. You get to work with your best friends. You know, I mean, not only do we get to go and beat each other up, your friends get to let you punch them in the face. You go out and have lunch afterwards or hanging out all the time. It's awesome. It makes you enjoy your job a lot more.
I'm sure.
I feel like it makes you grow too because, you know, when you're the new guy on the team, everybody. You were there for a little bit of Cody No Loves thing where we just had a field day. It was a roast for an hour, just making jokes about his huge head.
If we can possibly get
That's a
this on the
huge head.
podcast, we should definitely try to do it. Someone send this over to my Twitter or something like that, and I'll retweet it.
Yeah, so there's this kid on our team. He just started training. He's awesome, really good kid. And he really cares about how he looks. You know, he's got the tan skin, the waxed eyebrows,
Fake
the
tan skin.
the lined hair, like perfect beard. Like, he really cares about how he looks. You know?
Just sexy.
Yeah. We showed up and we thought he was too good looking. Like, there's no way he could be on our team. You know, he's like his eyebrows.
What do you mean? Your team was started by Uriah.
Yes, Danny wanted to have sex with his face.
I didn't know where I was supposed to kick him or fuck him. He was just perfectly lined up beard. I was like, do they have a ruler? Is there like a balance beam that his hairline is
hand
perfect?
plucked.
Well, so he has this fight, right? It's a pretty big fight for him, and he finally gets called out. But Uriah finally tweets him, sends out an Instagram.
Well, he
on
won
him.
the fight. He won the fight by knockout.
Yeah,
Like,
so-
after training with Team Alpha Male, he's on the right track. He's kicking ass.
2-0 with us.
Head by headbutt. Yeah, okay.
He's gonna have to be careful.
Hey, his
Broke
opponent
stoppage.
shattered both his hands in the first round.
He's 2-0 and 72. 72 disqualifications by way of headbutt. He's like, I can't fucking help it, guys. I go to turn my head and people get knocked out.
He posts this picture of his weigh-ins, and he's just flexing in the camera, and that's the one that Uriah decides to retweet, and his head just looks giant in it because he cut a bunch of weight. His body's all small. He's like leaning into the camera, so he just looks like he has this giant head. And then like 3,000 comments later, everyone's just ragging on his head and how big it
Worldwide
was.
trending.
I bet he's
on the
worldwide
size of his head.
He's at home crying right now about it.
Dude, he is.
On his big
It's just-
pillow.
it's just- He's at home crying, flooding houses with his giant tears coming like.
It makes it so much funnier if you know the guy. Someone's got to send out the picture.
Yeah, we'll definitely retweet that picture.
You need to have him on the podcast. Just video his head.
New headphones.
We'll have to get some
Reinforced
different-
headphones.
Yeah, he's gonna stretch these out. These won't fit him.
We'll have to tape two together and just use the extreme side of either one. We're making a lot of fun of this guy, but I'm sure he's a great dude, great fighter.
Yeah.
Just a random weird shot that looks like he went Super Mario style on his head.
Yeah.
It's pretty hilarious. But so you guys all got different stuff coming up in the works. You got something coming up on Memorial Day, right?
Yeah,
TJ?
I'm fighting May 24th against Tige Muzagaki.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be a great fight for me. I run through him and hopefully get my title shot.
So what's his style? I'm not familiar with him.
He's been around for a long time. He's pretty well rounded. I mean, I wouldn't call him an expert in anything.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of weaknesses, but he's a super tough fighter. Likes to brawl. He's got decent takedowns. I feel like he's aware of jiu-jitsu, but he's not deadly with it.
Right.
So I'm just gonna be the better athlete. I feel like I'm just as well rounded, but just a better athlete.
Mm-hmm. And Japanese necktie? Is that where we're going?
I'm
So for those of you who haven't seen it, Joe Rogan showed TJ Dillashaw the Japanese necktie, which is one step different than the Darce choke.
Yep.
Like a little one move ahead of that.
It's before you can get the Darce choke fully locked up. It's a sweet little transition that I feel very comfortable with hitting, and I'm going for that on it bonus of $5,000 in my fight.
Yeah, Japanese necktie.
To finish it with a
random bonus.
Japanese necktie.
Just don't focus too much on it, man. I don't want to fuck you up.
Oh,
you know
dude,
what I mean?
it's not gonna matter. I got it.
All right, man. I like it. And then Danny, what do you got coming up, man?
April 26th, UFC 172.
Yep.
John Jones, Chisora is the main event. The really cool card.
Where is that one at?
It's in Baltimore.
I love Baltimore. Not.
Yeah, I didn't really have too much fun there, but it's really cool. I have two other of my teammates. Joseph Benavidez is #1 ranked featherweight in the world. We also have one of our young prospects, Andre Feely. It's his second fight.
Touchy-feely.
Touchy-feely. Andre
Best nickname
Touchy-feely.
ever.
Yeah. He's coming up to his second UFC fight against a really big name, Max Holloway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be great to feed off of that.
Who are you fighting?
I am fighting Charlie Brenneman.
Oh, yeah. Mop hair guy.
Yeah. Wrestler cut down from 70s to 55s. It's going to be a great fight for me. I feel like, this last year I've learned so much and I've come so far. And it's starting to show in practice. And, my last fight was pretty tough fight. I fought Edson Barbosa, lost a close
and you
decision.
were a big underdog in that fight. I remember
Yeah.
taking a look at the odds. And then you came out and just started playing face punch.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. I can't even I can't explain it because I grew up in Sacramento. Sacramento's my hometown, and after the first round, I was exhausted. I look up, everyone's on their feet, just they were chanting Danny, and it was like something that's never happened for me ever, and it was just a warm feeling. I sat in the stool. I was like, "Fuck, I got 10 more minutes," but like I was trying to live in the moment as much as possible because a lot of the times, not that I'm really nervous, but at the end of the day, if you win or lose, it's half your money if you lose. So, you change your whole lifestyle. So there's a lot riding on these fights, and especially you put 3 months of your life, 4 months of your life of grinding, training hard, waking up like, I don't want to get out of bed because I felt like I got hit by a bus for this one moment that only lasts 15 minutes. So the beginning of my career is just kind of just stressing about money, but now like money's a little bit better. And now I can actually enjoy it. So my walkouts, everything, the weigh-ins, everything is that much better. Like I can smile and feel happy.
And you've been around a little bit. You're 34 years old now. How many fights have you been in?
I've been in 22 fights. I think what do we got? Like this will be my 18th fight with Zuffa. Had 8 fights at the WEC, 9 fight. This is my 10th fight with the UFC. So. Been around for a while, and I feel like I haven't reached my full potential, but it's exciting, man.
So that's cool to hear. I mean, a lot of people at 34 would just be saying, I'll just make a few more purses and get out. But seems like you're still in it to improve, get better, and maybe make a run then, huh?
Yeah, I mean the whole reason why, if you don't think you could be the champ, or if that's not in one of your goals, then why are you fighting for? It's like, It's not like we get paid millions of dollars. Like I'm sure a third string punter makes a lot more money than me, and it's the goal. It's to be the best man in the world, and I think that's what everyone at this table wants to be, including yourself. It doesn't matter if it's in the cage, just in life. In general, you just want to be the best person you can be and be happy, and I'm just starting to appreciate that. Some guy told me, he was like, "Dude, your 30s." I was dreading my 30s a little bit, and he's like, "Dude, your 30s are the best decade of your life." And now that I'm 34, it's I'm so much happier.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'm 33 and I can echo that. You take the wisdom that you learned from there, still have the fire, and combine the fire with the experience, and can bring out the best. Certainly.
For sure.
Certainly. And Justin, you're from Alaska.
Yeah.
You like to punch people. What's
Yep,
up?
That's true.
Tell us about your past.
It's
here.
tougher in Alaska.
Everything's tougher in Alaska.
That's true.
I mean, getting girls got to be tougher in Alaska.
That's tough. You don't lose your girlfriend. You just lose your turn in Alaska.
You lose your turn. I like that. I don't know if I understand it. But I like
Basically,
it.
there's not very many chicks up there.
Oh, I get it.
They're all
You just lose your-
Eskimos.
I heard that there's an Eskimo tradition that if you're going to visit an Eskimo, you get
true.
to sleep with the chief's wife.
That's the polite way of going about it. And the fatter the better in Eskimo culture.
So if you have a girlfriend and any of these guys are coming to stay at your house, do they bang your girlfriend?
Yes.
Well, all of his girlfriends are dudes, though, so we kind of pass.
Yeah.
There's some dude from Alaska.
Yeah. That's a code word.
But that is the polite way to do it. That is the actual traditional.
That's like crazy Eskimo stuff. That's like some tribe stuff out in the Arctic.
So you got to really brave the cold to do that. So anybody thinking about going to Alaska to get up, pick up on this Eskimo pussy, it's going to be really, really cold.
Yeah. You want to go to one of the villages and just drive around with like a bottle of vodka, like out your window, and then they'll just come to you.
They use like whale blubber as lube. I mean, how's it go down?
Crunchy peanut butter.
That's the prison style. That's Anchorage Penitentiary right there. You spend a little time in juvie or what?
No,
I've heard
never.
some stories about
Never,
juvie. They
never.
do use peanut butter there.
I've gotten 2 traffic tickets in my life.
What was
traffic tickets?
I was framed.
In Alaska.
I was framed. No, in California.
They don't have people giving traffic tickets in Alaska, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Fuck.
State troopers.
Yeah, on Moose, just walking around. Just
Yeah.
fucking-
Yeah,
lights.
give a moose a traffic ticket.
Is that so? There's the term Eskimo brothers, and I'm thinking that might. You know what that?
We're all
term-
Eskimo brothers.
You guys all are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I figured as much.
That's if
But-
you all sleep with the same dude, right? You become Eskimo brothers.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. That'll work. But I wonder if that's where the term comes from, because the Eskimos would let you sleep with their wife.
Oh yeah.
Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. I think we should do that now in modern days, not just Eskimos.
Well, I read this book called Sex at Dawn, right? And he talks about the natural state of man, Dr. Chris Ryan. And the natural state of man is to live in small tribes. And in those tribes, you share all resources. You share child raised, you share food you kill, hunter-gatherer societies. And that's what we're bred to do. We're not bred to be like gorillas who have a harem and fight to the death and protect their women, or lions.
Tiny penises.
Tiny penises, tiny balls. We're more like chimps. We got large balls for our primate selves, large penises, and that's because our sperm is meant to compete with other sperm that's already inside the puss.
Yeah.
So the idea is that we're not one of these kind of harem protective kind of people. We're designed to live in tribes that share everything from females to food to whatever, and that's what our instinctive nature is. But because of agriculture and money and how things are set up and the dissolution of the tribe, everybody's like, nah, this is my shit. And then jealousy and all these things are kind of taught. But it's kind of a different concept to do. And I think nobody's really, that I know of, have been too successful in kind of recreating that. But it's kind of interesting.
That's why I'm so competitive, though. I'm gonna try to get that pussy first. That's the whole point, right?
He's already like, now, how do I win? In
Yeah,
that
how do I
system?
win this game?
How do I win in that system?
Hey, Chris Ryan talks about bomber pilots in World War II, right? How they
Yeah.
all hooked up before, and it was to show how good.
The bomber pilots didn't hook up.
No, never mind then. Next subject. So the girlfriends hooked up, or the wives, or whatever,
Yeah,
hooked up.
everybody.
And then they flew, and they had like a 70% rate of dying, right? Like 7 out of 10
Yeah,
are
so
dead.
so the risk of death was so high that they dissolved the normal kind of the norms that people had. So all the wives and all the husbands, they would all sleep together. That way, any of the kids would have parents to raise them. And so the idea was, if nobody really knew who the parent was, anyways, then it wouldn't matter. Everybody would raise these kids, no matter which ones of the
So
pilots
check
died.
out my idea.
Yeah, go for it.
Team alpha male, same formula before fights. Just a big orgy, just hooking up. Everyone brings their girlfriend. They can come too, I guess. And then we do our thing. Then you go to war the next day and fight. You know what I mean?
That would actually be very much in line with people's nature. Although everybody else looking in would be like, what the fuck are these crazy assholes doing?
Haters. Hashtag
know?
haters.
But that would probably be something that scratched the itch that's like inside us all, because it is kind of weird, you
That
carve out
gay
these,
itch inside of all of us.
you carve out these giant houses and you get these situations set up, and
I'll stop with the gay jokes. I'm sorry, Castillo.
Dude, but I'm just waving them
He's
off.
just looking at me doing that.
he's
Stop.
stuck. He's stuck.
He's
I
It's
can't
sweating
help
about
it.
it.
That's all I think about. Oh, I'm dripping sweat. My right armpit especially.
Yeah, but you have, it seems to make sense that if you really do have brothers, and you guys have this situation, you do go to battle together. And I think that's important. You got to really trust the other people, because how this thing gets fucked up is you get the people who you haven't gone through the same initiations. You don't really feel like they're part of your tribe. You wouldn't want to share your girlfriend or have them raise your kids or share your resources with somebody like that. So having some kind of thing that bonds them together, like the tribes used to have, rites of passage, initiations, going to battle together, which you guys do, it makes a lot more sense.
I guess we kind of have that formula a little bit, because the new people, I guess their rite of passage would be for us to just make fun of them till we break them down. And
For Danny to make fun of him and then to spar with Dillashaw. That's the rite of passage.
and then
Team
for
Alpha
them to
Male.
bring their girlfriends to one of the parties, and we just all like have fun.
And if they come back, then they're part of the team.
Yeah.
But most of the
Yeah.
time, they don't come back.
We
Yeah,
do
yeah.
actually, but before someone goes off to a big fight like Uriah or TJ, we usually all get together the night, because the UFC flies you out 5 days before. So like 6-7 days out, we have a kind of like a potluck dinner, and we all get together kind of just to celebrate, because we're all winners. So it's like we're gonna celebrate the win. If we can't, a lot of us can't just go to Japan or Australia. At different places, so we just kind of get together and have a good time. And it's not like a stressful time. It's just a fun time. We're eating, laughing, having a great time like we do every single day. It's like we really enjoy life. Like
That's how we are in the locker room before our fights too. People kind of trip out. They're like, we're back in the locker room having fun before we go out and fight. We're all joking around and because we usually have like 3 guys fighting on the card, so we have a whole group of guys in the locker room hanging out, and it's just
take over.
Yeah, we're just having fun the entire time, and other camps don't like it. They're like nervous, freaking out, like, you got to fight soon. Aren't you worried about that? It's like, dude, we do this every day. It's kind of
with way tougher guys.
Yeah, we enjoy it. It makes it so much more enjoyable.
Yeah, I can, just from watching so many fights, you can see the people who, on the walk-ins, who are really relaxed, and you can tell they're in the moment. They're just kind of breathing, looking around, feeling alive. You get that way not by stressing and being tense and trying to put your hard face on.
Yeah.
Anytime I see someone walk out with their hard face, I'm like, uh-oh, motherfucker, you're going to get fucked up.
Dude, I think what changed it for me is like what Buchholz was cornering me, and he's like, dude, people would pay to be in your situation right now. People would pay to be able to do this walkout and enjoy like getting into the cage and everyone watching.
But they can't pay for it. That's
Exactly.
They can have all the money in the world,
Yeah.
but they can't do what you do right now.
Exactly.
And that's be a superhero, motherfucker. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Exactly. It just kind of like, I think he said that to me in one of my fights in San Jose. It just kind of hit me and just.
he said that to you?
Yeah. And just.
Man,
Shut up, Danny.
fuck.
I said that shit to Danny too. I told him he was the only one.
Yeah, I feel cheated on right now.
You
actually.
should.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
Hey,
This
you share,
podcast
you
is
share
over.
everything,
Yeah.
including Buchholz' words of wisdom and his mouth, whatever. that's the way of the tribe. But yeah, he's absolutely right. That is something that just such a slim amount of the population would be able to do. And you hear from fighters, especially on a bad night, they're like, dude, I fucking hardly remember anything. And when they say that, it's usually because they just weren't in the moment.
Yeah.
They're locked in some safe place of their mind because the nerves got to them, and they kind of retreat back in their head, and that shit might as well not even have happened. And that's a shame, because this is a really rare fucking sliver that you guys get to do. I mean, maybe football players, when they get their name called out in the tunnel in a big game like the Super Bowl, get to feel that. But then even then, it's a totally different feeling because you're with 52 other people. This one, it's all you. It's your song. It's your crowd. Everybody's kind of looking at you. And the contest, is as real as possible. I mean, MMA is competition with the least amount of rules. Everything else, they're like, you guys will fight each other, but we're going to throw a ball in there, and you're going to use the ball to kind of see who wins. You guys are like, I got these, and I got my feet, and we'll fucking figure it out.
Exactly. It's a great situation to be in. I mean, it doesn't get any better for me. I love it.
I think they should eliminate cups to make it more real. Just no cups, no mouthpiece. Just fighting to the death.
Well, there is some thought that it would be a lot safer if they got rid of the gloves.
You wouldn't be able to hit as hard.
You wouldn't be able to hit as hard, and the concussions certainly would go down from that. Because people think, oh, so savage, just going bare knuckle. Well, really, it's the concussive impact from being able to swing like a fucking maniac and hit someone in the top of the head because you can still break your hand, obviously.
So they go no wraps?
They'd go just wraps and no padding on the
They'd go wraps dipped in caramel like Skittles, M&Ms, like to make it vicious like Thai style.
Yeah, but then in that case, and you see these old bare knuckle fights. There's actually a documentary called Knuckle.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was crazy, right?
Yeah, they're just a family of pikeys. Yeah, gypsies.
So there's a lot of cuts. Cuts are certainly a problem. But other than that, the brain doesn't quite take that same concussive impact as it would.
It's like the leather helmet in football.
Yeah.
Actually better for you, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a huge problem. They just had an article out today.
Like rugby. Rugby, you got leather or no helmet. But so you got to fucking watch yourself. You can't just spear each other in the head. It'll kill each other. And that doesn't happen because people tackle a different way knowing that they don't have that.
That's why boxing's even worse for your head. You can take 3 times as many punches in a round and be all right. You get concussed, you get a 10 count or whatever. You get to get punched so much more. And it's a lot worse for you because they have more padding on their hands.
Man, I don't
For
know
us,
how
you get hit that hard, you're going to sleep.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know how much worse how boxing is so much worse than MMA. Everyone says that, but if you look at fights where a guy eats like a shin across the face, you know what I mean? Then he hits the ground, and then the guy hits him like 6 more times. I don't know how much worse you could possibly have head trauma than that. Like a shin bone.
I guess I just never had that
Well,
situation.
the
I mean, just
idea
seeing
is,
it, you know what I'm saying?
the idea is that usually puts you to sleep.
Yeah.
You know, in boxing, you're constantly, how many times are you going to shake the brain off
Yeah.
the skull? You know?
Yeah.
Like, and it's not usually the one big shake that knocks you out. It's just constantly shaking over
Yeah.
time that does the most damage, presumably.
And even the best boxers, even Mayweather gets hit.
Rarely.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you're gonna get hit in a boxing
I think it's
fight.
probably what does the most damage in MMA is the training.
yeah.
You know, I mean,
100%.
because the gloves are bigger in training,
Mhm.
and you're going hard in the training. I don't think it's necessarily the fights. I mean, sure, you can get a concussion in the fights, and that's no good.
Mm-hmm.
But the training seems like that's probably what would take the biggest toll. And I was reading something from Johnny Hendricks, who was saying how he wears the full-on chin guards, everything in training. He doesn't take heavy headshots in training. He
And
thinks
Lawler
that's an
said he hadn't
advantage.
sparred for 5 years or something before he went to American Top Team.
Mhm.
Heavy sparring.
Maybe they would have got hit less in their fights if they sparred and learned how to move their head. 'Cause they were just like both punching bags in that
That's
fight, you know?
true.
Like most punches landed ever.
It was, I think,
yeah.
yeah. That's
Craziness.
crazy.
Yeah, they were both just right in the pocket,
Yeah.
taking shots.
I thought you held that record for most strikes landed.
Most
over
ground-
3 rounds.
Most
over
ground
3
strikes
rounds.
landed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my first UFC fight against Wallel. It was like an insane number of ground strikes. I don't even remember.
Gotta hit him harder, man.
I know,
What the
right?
fuck?
Yeah. Seriously though, I should have done like the Munoz, like pull back as far as I possibly can to land my ground strikes.
Just
But
skyscraper ground and pound.
yeah, I was just landing
Donkey Kong.
quick elbows.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think probably the UFC's got the rules right. I mean, the bare knuckle thing, too many cuts, cup, unless you got a titanium dick like Danny Castillo, to protect your balls.
Or it's so small it doesn't even matter if it gets hit or not.
Miss me. It's like a queen. They replay it. Nothing.
It's a perfect shot. Just,
Yeah.
I don't
Do you guys
feel
remember
anything.
that classic UFC where Joe Son got pinned down by Keith
Oh.
Hackney,
Mhm.
had one arm on his neck, and then took his other hand and started hooking him in the balls from
Yes.
side control?
Yeah.
Yes.
You missed that one?
I remember it well. The
Yeah.
rape choke on the throat.
Rape
and then
choke.
Just
and
turned
then-
his
A
balls
ball
into
punch.
mush. And funny thing is, he got arrested for some sort of sexual. I mean, do you know the whole story with him? He ended up
Keith
hanging.
Hackney?
No, Joe Son.
Oh, no.
He ended up killing himself in prison. He hung himself or something, I believe. I don't know if that's true. I might have made that up. But
Somebody please Google that. I don't trust this
I'm not
at
trying
all.
to spread disinformation, but I'm pretty sure that he hung himself with his own underwear in prison, and he was in there for some sort of sexual crime. Joe Son.
So maybe it was some weird pre-justice, like Minority Report.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Pre-justice
That's
from
karma
Keith
for
Hackney.
you.
Like,
Yeah.
I know what you're going to do, motherfucker, and I'm going to try to end it right here.
Good 10 punches to the balls.
Yeah. Destroy his tiny little sexuality.
Have you guys, so you guys came from mostly a wrestling background, right? Is that all of you? I know it's definitely you, TJ.
Yeah.
You as well, Danny?
Mm-hmm.
I came from a boxing background.
Boxing background.
Yeah.
What do you think is, get that off, brain out of the way. As far as preparation for the MMA, I mean, the wrestling, everybody says, is kind of the best base to go from.
Yeah, I feel like wrestling's the best base, not only for what it could do for you in MMA, but just the way you learn how to train and the way you learn how to compete. Because you compete every weekend for like 9 months in a college wrestling season, or 6 months for a high
Get to
school wrestling
practice
season.
weight cuts.
Yeah, you're practicing your weight cuts every week. You're getting on the mat, one-on-one competition every week. And just the mentality of being a wrestler is completely different than any other sport I've been around for MMA. You just are so much more driven, and it just, for me, like seeing all the guys that are gym, I think that's the most important thing, is just what it trains you to be outside of athletics, just how competitive you are.
I think it's hard to be a slacker if you're a wrestler. If
You
you're
won't make it.
if you're a pretty good wrestler, so anyone in HR, if you're looking to hire anyone, I would lean towards a wrestler, because in order to be successful, unless you're this crazy athlete, which I'm not, you have to really work at it, and it's just like one of the hardest things to learn. Like I fought a guy named Tin Memes, and he was just like, oh, give me a 6-week camp, give me an 8-week camp, and I'll be ready for your wrestling. It's like, no, I've been wrestling for 19 years. There's no way you can. There's no like fast forward, like advanced like training to get you better. You have to be really explosive in order to be like somewhat good in wrestling if you've never wrestled at all. So it's like there's certain cases where they're really athletic, super fast twitch, really strong, and those guys could be okay. But your wrestling's just
I've wrestled since I was 8. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
can't have an 8-week camp and pick it up like I have. It just
Well, you can't do that with anything.
Yeah.
You know,
But I feel like when we started to learn boxing came a little bit easier. I don't know
Sure.
if it's just coming from a Hispanic background where we watch boxing every weekend. Like Julio Cesar Chavez was my favorite fighter as a kid, Oscar De La Hoya, and we'd watch every single one. How'd I box? I'd never boxed ever until I was 28. And then I started. So I started when I was 28.
Hey,
Really?
one thing about high-level wrestlers, though, they can all crack. Like, I've never met, like, a high-level wrestler who couldn't hit hard. They say you're born
Yeah.
with a punch, but when you train every muscle in your body nonstop and compete every weekend, like TJ said and whatnot, you can come in, you have, like, a powerful punch. Like Mendez, Palmer, Castillo, TJ, these guys can all crack, like, right off the bat. Like, with just having
well, they know how to
strength.
use leverage in their body to generate force. You know, it seems like that makes some sense. So you started when you were 28.
Yeah.
So you're 26. What are you doing?
I'm sitting behind a desk.
Yeah?
Didn't finish college. My college wrestling season was over. Didn't have any more money coming in. I went to a private school that was really expensive, small. I was just like, fuck, I got to get a job now. So I went on Craigslist, saw a sales
Put an ad out
position.
for
Went on redbook.com, just started scanning, all depressed.
There we go, back to that again.
My bad.
But kind of lied, embellished the resume a little bit, saying that I had graduated.
So you're working bachelor parties.
And I'm just like, I'm the pizza man, just showing up, ripping all my
How do you think he
clothes
was
off.
named the last call? I mean, he was always the last stripper to show up, you know,
It's
finishing
true.
the show.
It's true. I shut it down. And then I worked a desk job. I worked in sales and marketing for probably about 5 years.
And then you're just kind of training, thinking
Yeah.
about things, and all of a sudden you're like, fuck this. At
Well,
some point there had to be this fuck this moment.
no, there actually wasn't. There wasn't, because I was done competing. I lost in the NAIA national finals, so it's just kind of like a bad taste in my mouth. The last match I ever had, you know, the biggest match, the biggest stage, and I lost by 2 points, and it just kind of stuck with me and went to a down spiral. I was drinking a bunch and just like trying to mask that pain that I'd never be able to compete again.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing like, I mean, you could be a softball team. Like, how cool? That's not very cool at all. Like, I don't want to compete on a softball team. I'm one-on-one. I've been one-on-one competing my whole entire life.
Right.
So then I was on MySpace. This is how long ago it was. MySpace was huge. Uriah sent me.
What was your homepage song? Do you remember?
I can't remember. I can't remember. I might have had multiple songs. Yeah, multiple
You're
songs.
dominating the MySpace.
Uriah, he had posted a picture and I was making fun of him, like, "Oh, you sure look tall," because he was just super
So you knew
short.
Uriah.
Yeah, Uriah and I wrestled together in high school on the same All-Star team. He was from
Got
a
it.
different town, and every summer we'd go up and down California wrestling at these All-Star tournaments. And he was just like, "You got to come check out my gym. I just saw him fighting on TV. I went. He had a cool gym, 3 or 4 houses, and he's like, dude, I think you could do it. Like, takes a certain type of person to be able to fight and be successful." And I was like, dude, I got a 401k, I got dental insurance. Like, there's no way, dude, no way. They brought a consultant in and they changed my commission scale and kind of punished me a little bit, gave me a higher salary, less commission. So kind of punishing me for being a good account manager, because I wasn't doing shit, just online all day on MySpace because the money was coming in.
Just playing Space Invaders.
Yeah, just kind of not doing anything, coming to work hungover, not excited about life. Like, this sucks. I'm just going in circles. And I was like, fuck this. I talked to my mom a little bit, and she's
So
like,
there was
yeah.
that point. See?
It's like,
Yeah.
no, there wasn't any fuck this moment. And then I was like, fuck this.
Well, as soon as they were like, we're gonna cut your commission and give you a little bit more salary, I'm just like, that's not fair. Like, I don't want to sit behind the desk. So I gave my 2 weeks notice. They asked me to stay another 2 weeks, 4 weeks, packed up my apartment, and I haven't looked back since.
It's funny how, the universe will do kind of weird shit like that to nudge you nudge you in the direction? You know, what if they had gone the other way and given you a more generous structure? That might have detoured you a little farther. I think about that with myself. You know, what if, because I failed in a bunch of fucking stupid shit until I figured out on it, you know, and that was, I really believe, is the path I was supposed to be on. But what if one of these other things had been a wild success, you know, and I was,
You're just the best male stripper.
yeah, that would have been a weird path. You know, I tried hard. You know,
You just have this beautiful voice, and you're just singing. You're like, I think I got something here.
But yeah, so at that point, they decided to kind of fuck you up a little bit, and then it took you on this path.
Yeah, and it's seriously, it's probably been the best thing that ever happened to me because, you know, karma has nothing to do with fighting, but I feel like if you're the best possible person and you just go out there and fight, like, good things happen. And that's just kind of how I've been. Like, I try to eat clean, try to be, except for Sticks, you know, but for the most part, I'm a happy, nice person.
Sticks is Chris Holdsworth.
Nice person. And
Danny is Chris's friend / nemesis.
Well, that's Danny's all of his friends. You know, like you're his friend, but you're also his nemesis because he's gonna make fun of you. He's gonna break you down on any stupid thing you do and make you want to go kill yourself. But then you become a better person of it.
And it's the reaction that I feed off of. So if you're just like super angry, then that's when it's just like green, go. Yeah. But if you kind of just brush it off and like, that wasn't that fun. I didn't get the reaction I was looking for. But Sticks is just like, duh. So it's like, he's just like,
he's the most dangerous nerd on the planet.
The deadliest nerd.
Yeah, deadliest nerd.
He's really tough, but
that could be a new show for him.
Yeah.
Deadliest
nerd.
Yeah, he's a really good guy, but you could tell he's been sheltered a little bit. So I kind of like to mess with him a little bit. But he has a good head on his shoulder, though.
Huge head.
Huge head too.
It's big.
He's really dedicated and focused, and that's what I respect the most about him. Is like anytime I see him, he's stretching or doing something that has to do with fighting.
He wakes up early to drink water before practice. He has like 2-hour alarm before he has to leave, just so he can hydrate.
Could see that kind of crazy regimentation of, you know, and with all you guys, you know, you're a little bit off, and I think that's something that makes you good. I'm a little bit off. Like, you notice that in a lot of people. You know, Rogan's, he's a little bit off. All of us that, you know, really want to push ourselves, we get a little quirky, and I think that's just kind of part of the game.
Have you met our coach?
Yeah, and Dwayne is working combinations at all times
in his
head, in his sleep.
Dude, always.
I mean, it's really interesting to see how much he lives and breathes that, but that's kind of the path to mastery. You know, I told a story with Robert Greene on the podcast about Bill Bradley, the basketball player for the Knicks and Princeton all-time scoring leader. He was completely obsessive. He's a little bit tall, but gangly, couldn't really play ball that well. And so he decided, he's like, if I'm going to be in the NBA, I got to have a great handle. I got to be able to dribble the ball like nobody else and see the court. So he developed these glasses that he would put on that blocked the vision of his hands as he was dribbling. And he would just dribble 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours a day, do these different drills constantly. He even went on a cruise ship one time, and they thought, all right, fine. Finally, he's not going to have to practice. His parents took him on a cruise. But no, he put his fucking glasses on and was dribbling up and down the cruise ship in the bottom galleys the whole time. And eventually he became one of the best ball handling and passing, you know, power forwards in the game. So all of these crazy kind of obsessive traits tend to ride along with the path to greatness.
Crazy good.
Yeah.
Crazy's good.
Yeah.
That's what our Master Tong used to say,
Yeah.
Our old stand-up coach, he'd always say, I like crazy good, you know? Simple. The guy's profound. MMA crazy, that was his best one. Genius, if you think about it.
So TJ, you had a kind of a different path than Danny, and you had that kind of that country boy wrestling thing going. It seems like hunting.
Fighting started out the same way, but my completely different. He grew up in the city, has no idea how to survive in the wild, and would die instantly if there was no grocery store, you know.
That's not very funny. It's the truth.
But you got a sick kick game, though. Yeah. Your shoe game is on point.
He has a whole bedroom of shoes.
Yeah.
He's a sneaker.
And he's got, like, tailored sweatpants.
Yeah.
You know, like, normally you buy sweatpants, but his are, like, custom tailored. Yeah. You know, you can see.
You don't want to cover up
stitch
the
line.
shoe. I mean, you got to see it at all times.
No, he has the split in the calf to properly show his calves off in the sweatpants. I see it.
Yeah. He's got the ass flap where he just takes it.
Yeah. Keep going, guys.
No, yeah, I grew up in the country, small town, Angels Camp, California. I grew up hunting, raising pigs and steers and wrestling. My dad got me involved in wrestling when I was 8 years old. Got addicted to it, just the competition, I think. And my whole family is ridiculously competitive. I got 2 other brothers, and I think that's what kind of bred me to be the way I am. And went through high school, did good in high school, got a full ride scholarship to Cal State Fullerton. That's where actually I met Uriah as well as through wrestling. He tried recruiting me to wrestle to Davis, and I didn't end up going to Davis. I went to Southern California. It was way too nice down there to pass up, and way better looking girls, and the school wasn't as hard, and I can go on forever. But so I went to Fullerton.
So you're happy with your choice?
Yeah, it was good. So I went to Fullerton and went through wrestling, and like Danny, I didn't finish how I wanted to. I made it to NCAA's 3 years, but kind of bombed out every year and was ranked pretty high, but never just put it together, So I still had that.
So do you think it was more the mental game then? You just weren't quite mentally at the level that you needed to be to compete, or was it a physical limit at that point? You think?
I think I maybe did a little bit more of a mental thing. I put so much pressure on myself, and my family's been huge into wrestling behind me, and I think I just put the pressure behind me and kind of let it affect my career. And
that could be it, but I think that we were talking about it, Chad, too. I think a lot of it is just the grind of wrestling. You only have one tournament, and that pretty much sums up that year, and it's the last tournament of the year, and you have to qualify for them. So you've been grinding for the whole year, strength and conditioning, running sprints, doing all this stuff.
So the people who peak at that tournament are the people who are going to win.
Well, you're going to have a coach that does that for you. That's one thing. I mean, I love my coach. My coach was awesome, not to rag on him. He's a super hard worker, but too hard. We always started like 2 months earlier than everyone and worked hard all the way throughout the season.
So you might have been peaking 2 months before before everybody else.
Yeah, one of the hardest tournaments in the year, I took second at the Las Vegas Open tournament, in which all the good schools go to. And
you took second?
Yeah, I took second at that tournament, which is huge, and I was ranked top 8 in the nation, and just got to the end of the year and was just burnt out. I mean, that I was hurt. I went in with a pinched nerve in my neck, lost like 70% of the strength in my left side of my body, like kind of crazy, just kind of beat myself up, which still doesn't.
So rigorous switch-handed masturbation is the only thing that brings that back,
exactly.
right?
I mean, you got to get the coordination back. Have to.
Sure.
Yeah. And so I went through season, didn't get what I wanted to do. So, I had that urge to still compete, but I was going to grad school and to become a physician's assistant, hopefully. But I met Uriah at a wrestling camp I was teaching. He's like, man, you should fight. And I watched you wrestle. You're always mean, and I feel like you could do this. Man, I feel like it's something you could be good at. I talked it back and forth, and finally just made up the mind to go up to Team Alpha Male and told myself I'd give myself a year and see if I was any good at it. And if I was, I would stick it through. If not, I'd go back to school. And I'm glad I made the decision because it's worked out awesome.
We all are.
Yeah.
So one of the last questions here, if you guys all had kids, and I don't think any of you have kids, do you?
No.
Right. None that I know of. And I'm pretty sure the girls that saw me on TV be like, oh, I better hit him up.
He's got some money.
Yeah, but I don't.
Trickiness.
Yeah.
When you have kids, is this a path that you would kind of encourage your kids to go down?
I don't know, man. I mean, it's tough. I'd let them make their own decisions, but even wrestling. I mean, wrestling was such a tough sport. I love for what it did to me as a person, but I mean, it was so tough growing up that I don't know if I'd want to get him involved in it. I'd let him make that choice, I guess. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with wrestling. Yeah. So I think we kind of touched over it a little bit. Like, I'm not even sure I'd have my kids wrestle, even though it taught me to be the person I am today, a hard worker. Like, I feel like I'm one of the hardest workers, and that I wouldn't have had that without wrestling, I don't think. Maybe learning. My mom was a single parent. I witnessed her struggle and stuff, so that kind of helped me be a strong person, a hard worker. But I think I would probably start my kids off with gymnastics,
golfing,
and
golfer for sure.
Once they figure out their body and stuff like that, and once they'll be able to do a backflip and control their body, I figure they can do any sport after that.
I would say martial arts for sure, but like the head trauma of contact growing up, with boxing or Muay Thai or MMA.
So how early did you start boxing?
I was getting hit really early, like in the head a lot. That's why I probably lost at least 100 IQ points.
You were destined to be super genius.
Yeah, exactly, but robbed from me.
They boxed you into just being smart.
Yeah, exactly. But alpha brain's bringing me back slowly. But yeah, I mean, to avoid the head trauma, like the martial arts, the respect and discipline from martial arts, I mean, for kids is great, like man, boy or girl. But just the competitive side, I mean, jiu-jitsu and wrestling, I'm down with that. But like any kind of striking, they'd have to be 18 and.
But you know how fucking kids are though. They're gonna see the dad, and once you get them a little taste, like, oh, that was fun to pin that kid down and make him squirm. How much more fun will it be when I punch him while I do that? You know, it's gonna be tough.
Or spinning hook kick him. That'd be cool too.
Definitely gonna get my kid involved in a sport though, for sure. Like me and Danny were talking about it just like last night or the night before about how it like creates this social, this like, I don't know, you just become so much more of a man from it, and learn how to live life and become a family, and just you learn so many great things from being on a team. And going back to our boy Sticks, he was never on a team. He was always kind of doing his own thing, individual, and he's a little socially awkward. He's a nerd, but that's what me and Danny were talking about this. You got to get involved in some sorts of situation of it's going to get you out there, get made fun of, get picked on, and grow up from it. Like go through those things.
Yeah, test yourself in both team environment and bringing out the growth in yourself. I think that's one of the things that I would recommend for daughters too, and girls growing up. I think there's so much that you get out of the way. Being able to just push through adversity and go through all of that shit. I mean, yeah, girls are going to have a huge trial when they give birth. That's going to be a major test or whatever. But getting the preparation for these difficult times, you get that through sports usually.
I think you kind of find your role in society also in those small teams, like kind of like the tribe thing. So when you go out into the real world, you can tell people who are the leaders of kind of some of the packs.
Hold that same level of confidence.
Yeah, just when you walk in the door. Jenna was saying that. Jenna was telling me that yesterday.
You were listening closely. You could probably tell me more about my assistant than I know.
As soon as you walk in the door, you could kind of tell. You could kind of tell. Like, so if I were to walk in the door and you guys were just to record it, you'd see.
You also have flat noses and cauliflower ears and fucking
but if
veins popping out of your arms. I mean, it doesn't take a fucking scientist to figure that out. Yeah.
Okay, long sleeve with a beanie on. If I were to walk in and then 2 seconds later, let's say Sticks were to walk in, there's just kind of a different.
I quit picking on Sticks, man.
I'm not picking on him. It's just
we love
the truth.
Sticks.
It's the truth.
Sticks is our homeboy.
I think honestly, the truth is all of you carry that same kind. It's a different frequency. There's a different frequency when you've tested yourself and broken it down to the base level, where you guys don't necessarily have these excessive programs that are running, these egos that have gone unchecked, and these things that you know who you are. You've put yourself, broken it down to the very end of your being, in a weight cut, going into the fight. You get to find out who exactly you are at the very base level. And that knowledge, it shows, and athletes have it and other people have it too. People who have been on the spiritual path in a real earnest way, someone who's drunk ayahuasca 100 times. You look at them and you're like, wow, they've really cut out the excessiveness of their essence. Like they know who the fuck they are. And in a way, your competition can do the same thing. Really get down to the core of who you are, and that's a real gift to have. And people can read that, because there's no desperation, there's no clinginess, there's no need that's coming from anything else.
You don't have to prove yourself to anybody.
Exactly. You just really know at the very core, like, this is me. Let's do it.
Makes a lot of sense.
My friends, it has been an honor to hang with you. It's been a lot of fun. We're going to have to do this a lot more. I appreciate the support on it. That's been fucking rad. Glad we've been able to help you out a little bit, and look forward to supporting and being a part of this ride all the way.
Yeah, I'm excited to join the family, dude. It's awesome being here.
Yeah.
And I want this podcast to end so we can go wake surfing right now. Right? What? I'm just kidding. But seriously.
But for real.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have some fun. Thank you, guys. How can they get a hold of all you guys? Give us your Twitter and what the best way. Snapchat,
TJ,
whatever.
Snapchat, some selfies.
Selfies.
You just follow me on TJ Dillashaw, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Yeah, same thing. It'd be Last Call 155, and that's Instagram, Twitter.
Plenty of fish.
Probably Facebook.
Tinder.
No, none of that stuff.
Just get a hold of me by certified mail. I'm old school.
He has a P.O. box.
We'll do chain letters. I'll write back.
Pigeons are accepted.
Yeah. Carrier pigeons, yeah. At JBMMA155. That's my Twitter and Instagram.
Beautiful. Thank you, my friends. We will do this again sometime soon.
Look forward to it.
Thank you.
All right, later.